Before we move to statements, I want to say something about the selection of amendments and new clauses for the Advanced Research and Innovation Agency Bill. I told the House in my statement on the 29th of January 2020 that as Speaker of the House, I am committed to transparency and I respect and trust the advice from clerks in this House. As the House will know, and as Erskine May states, the Chair is not expected to give reasons for the decision on the selection of amendments. However, on an exceptional basis, I want to say something about why new Clause 4 has not been selected. I am doing so on this occasion because of the high level of interest in the new clause in the House and outside it. Amendments and new clauses which are not within the scope of the bill are out of order. Erskine May states, the scope of the bill represents reasonable limits of its collective purposes as defined by its existing clauses and schedules. In this instance, having taken advice from the House's senior clerks and the Officer of Speaker's Council, I have deemed that new Clause 4 to be outside the scope of the bill. New Clause 4 is therefore not selected and may not be debated today. I do wish to make a further point. As we all know, the Government has, through our standing order, significant control over the business of the House and considers on any given day. And its control is particularly strong when it comes to the initiation of public expenditure. Under the International Development Official Development Assistance Target Act 2015, it is the duty of the Secretary of State to ensure that the target for official development assistance to the amount of 0.7% of gross national income is met by the United Kingdom each year. Up until now, however, the House has not, and I repeat, not had an opportunity for a decisive vote on maintaining the UK's commitment to the statutory target of 0.7%. I expect that the Government should find a way to have this important matter debated and allow the House to formally take an effective decision. I should say that on an exceptional basis, I will consider whether to hear any standing order number 24 applications by 5:30 today for debate to be held tomorrow. Applications should reach my office by no later than 5 o'clock this afternoon. Having taken this exceptional step of explaining my decision and selection, in this case, I will only take one point of order, and that is from the lead member for the proposed amendment, Andrew Mitchell.
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Further to your statement, of course, I completely accept that you are the referee on these matters, and that is that. But, Mr. Speaker, the government front bench are treating the House of Commons with disrespect. They are avoiding a vote on the commitments that each of us made individually and collectively at the last general election, on a promise made internationally, and in the opinion of some of Britain's leading lawyers, the government is acting unlawfully. Mr. Speaker, had we secured a vote on the new clause tonight, I can assure the House it would have secured the assent of the House by not less than a majority of 9 and probably of around 20 votes. Mr. Speaker, in the week of the British chairmanship of the G7, the government's failure to address this issue will indisputably mean that hundreds of thousands of avoidable deaths will result. It is already attracting criticism from all round the other members of the G7. What advice, Mr. Speaker, do you have for my right honourable and honourable friends and I to seek to stop the government from riding roughshod over Parliament in this way and seeking to thwart our democratic rights as members of the House of Commons?
Can I first of all thank the right honourable member for giving the courtesy of giving me advance notice of this point of order. On the first point, the government may have behaved unlawfully. I have to advise him that that will be a matter for the courts to determine, not me, as he's well aware of, and I know that he will work very hard at looking at that if that was needed. On his more general point, I've already expressed my view that the House should be given an opportunity to make an effective, and I repeat, an effective decision on this matter. I've also indicated that I will exceptionally be prepared to accept an application today for an emergency debate tomorrow. And I would say, I share the House's frustration. it is quite right that this House should not continue to be taken for granted. But we must do it in the right way, and I believe the government need to respect and need to come forward. I totally agree with the honourable member. Not only for this House, but the country needs that this is debated and heard and an effective decision taken.